We're going to be doing Beaver Adaptations here, kind of going over the things you need to do and need to know to be able to teach this lesson. First thing you should know is the objectives. After your students should be, after they're done with the program, they should know at least 3 different adaptations. Be able to describe how these adaptations help beaver survival and explain the characteristics of their habitat. For the first activity you want to go with the students is dress up, or there's 2 options. You can either dress up yourself or have somebody else dress up with you, or you can just hand out the different props I'm going to show you here in a second and have them say why this would relate to a beaver life. But as you can see, I'm kind of dressed in a goofy way. These are all the different props, along with some of the props over here on the table that you'll use in this activity. First off, you have a raincoat. It's a protective oil that helps keep you waterproof and keep the water from forming on too much on the fur. You have the outer fur, the 2 layers of fur that keeps the beaver nice and warm. You have the goggles. It's a protective eyelids. You have the ears, which are protective to keep the water and debris out of the ear. Then you also have a nose piece that kind of helps plug up the nose, so when they're swimming they don't get too much water or other gunk into their nose. You can see I have these flippers down here, the webbed toes to help with the beaver swim better. You have the beaver tail over here that is for ruddering, steering, and also for a warning system for the beavers. On their feet they have comb-like claws to help them comb through the different types of oils, so you have a comb for that. They have an oil gun that helps, this kind of shows an example of the oils that they do use within their skin to help keep them waterproof and warm. Then you have the Beaver's Skull, which there's there's pieces of it, and there's like this side piece right here. So you have the full beaver skull here, which shows that the eyes stay on top of the head so the beavers can see when they're just barely coming out of the water. And then you can show them the teeth too, that are self-sharpening teeth. The front teeth are, so really cool stuff. One of the optional activities you can do, all the alternative activities you can do if you think you're going to have time, is there's a bag with a bunch of cards on there. And there's 3 different colors, and on the back there's little descriptions of just certain adaptations that the beavers have. On the front there are a couple words, and each one has a different color. Like there's this kind of this maroon color, green, and an orange also. Then when you'll hand them out as kids, show off that they have good attitudes throughout the time, answer questions, or participating in the activities. You hand them out, and at the end of the time then they match up and make a sentence, and a sentence is in the lesson plan. So to get to Minister Lake, you're going to walk past the cabin area. Cabin loop, we're going to walk past it, and we're going to walk down that way towards the trail down towards Minister Lake. The path to Minister Lake goes across this human track, also called a road. Here at Minister Lake, this is a great place to show and share some of the beaver facts that you have in your lesson plan, or you might find out somewhere else. There's a nice little manual about mammals here where it can give you some interesting facts about the size, where the beavers live, habitat, what they do. There's some of their tracks and what their teeth marks looks like, which you can see throughout here at Suez, right behind me. Here are some great examples of beaver chews. We do have a couple areas, a couple zones throughout this area out here where you can see evidence of where beavers were at one time. You can split up the group into 2 to 3 other groups and have them explore the area looking for sites of beavers, some evidence that beavers are still around here, or maybe even for other mammals that they might see in the area. You can do other activities throughout this lesson. Some other alternatives you can do are Beaver Legends, which you have groups of kids work together and create short stories about different legends or myths about the beaver that they can create, or how they actually came up with these adaptations that they have. An adaptation comparison, which is another activity you can do. This activity is when you talk about the adaptations that beavers have, and then you ask the kids in what way would they want to change and to live within the beaver habitat. Have them write a short story or draw some pictures to illustrate this image. To relist the objectives that this activity does have, be able to list 3 beaver adaptations. Describe how these adaptations help beavers survive in the wild, and explain 3 characteristics within a beaver habitat.